Hello Canada, welcome to Niagara Due North, and I am your host Parma John, where today we are going to be talking about the viral sensation that is firing Jenny Byrne and Polyev not going on Joe Rogan. Now, I'm going to show you the viral video clip from the Joe Rogan podcast that had everyone up in arms.
People who donated to them got their bank accounts frozen.
How insane.
Insane. And then that same party just won again. Good job, Canada.
Oh, my God. If they didn't have good bear hunting, I would never go there.
I do have to say, I offered to have that Pierre guy come on the podcast.
Really?
He didn't do it. Wouldn't do it. Thought it was too problematic. Or whatever. Jordan told me, I forget what he said, but they were telling him not to do it. Like his advisors were telling him not to do it.
And of course, that drove Twitter, not the internet, crazy. Okay, Melissa, I still don't understand why Pierre Polyev didn't go on the worldwide podcasts that included Joe Rogan and PBD. PBD is an idiot. Okay, he doesn't know anything about Canada, and he's one of the millions of Americans that can't stop huffing his own farts to realize that there's other things going on in this world outside of America. Look at this other one. Kirk Lubomov. Wow. Joe Rogan said he offered Pierre Polyev to come on his podcast, but the team said no. I've said it before and I'll say it again. All the CPC inner circle needs to be thrown out. New Joe Rogan says he offered to have Canadian candidate Pierre Polyev on the podcast, but they felt it would be too problematic. My favorite conservative personality on X, Mario Zewal, says it perfectly. He lays it out perfectly. Let me just get this going, because he has a big rant. Mario Zelaya, folks. To everyone freaking out about Pierre Polyev not going on Joe Rogan or other American podcasts, you have no idea how to read the room, and is why you're podcasters and influencers and not strategists. And clearly you never will be. In particular, I believe PBD is the most embarrassing one of all, who acts like the Psycho X. Why does he care so much anyways? Because he wanted to be part of the Polyev blue wave win. That's why. I believe it looks desperate and makes no sense for a grown man to pout and complain so much about someone not going on their little podcast. In fact, PBD had Max Bernier on his podcast, and so did Tucker. He won on Alex Jones too. Max came in 4th place in his own riding with 90% less votes than the winner. He literally got 3,628 votes in total. Your podcasts would have given the Liberals a majority government. Americans have no idea what the hysteria is like in Canada against anything American and anything Trump. And you want Pierre to align himself closer to Trump and going on American podcasts? This might shock you, but 80-year-old Canadian moms have no idea who you are. The seniors go all out and vote because they listen to their cable box blasting CBC and CTV pro-liberal news. Carney, good. Pierre, bad. Pierre, like mean orange man. It's embarrassing, but the reality of Canada. Don't believe me? Look at Australia. Trump and his tariffs killed the right-wing movement in both countries. No amount of American podcasts would have changed that. Plain and simple. Anyone telling you that otherwise is majorly ill-informed and can't read the room. PBD. So folks, we then must ask ourselves, Jenny Byrne. Let's bring ourselves to Jenny Byrne. Is it Byrne? I hope it's Byrne. Now, folks, I know that we are so obsessed with Donald Trump, Donald Trump's campaign, and everything that happened in the atmosphere of Donald Trump 2024. Okay? Unfortunately, folks, Jenny Byrne is not Ronna McDaniel. Okay? And I went through this myself. In fact, I've mentioned, I think the only criticism that I can give Jenny Byrne is that perhaps the campaign was a little too feminine. Were they not trying to get female votes? Yeah. As a woman, you think she would know how women work? Pierre Poilievre will never get a woman to vote for him. He needs to get the Queen to endorse him. Who's the Queen? I don't know. Whoever the women listen to. He needs to talk to her. She needs to tell them. So that's my fault with Jenny Byrne. I think the campaign was a little too G-A-Y. Okay? Let's look through this. I just have her Wikipedia page. Okay? And I was extremely shocked by it. She has a very, very extensive career protecting gun rights and conservative values. It is insane. I wonder her stance on pro-choice. Guys, go out and buy yourself some water. Okay? Today's episode is brought to you by water. Because why? That's why. Moving on. Just skimming through here. Political advisor, political commentator, government relations expert. I would actually love to go work for her company. She is currently advisor to the federal Pierre Poilievre, Jenny Byrne and Associates. She is a lobbyist for Loblaws. That is not a lie, okay? And Progressive Conservatives Ontario. So people need to talk more about that. She worked for Doug Ford and helped Doug Ford win. She is a former advisor to Prime Minister Stephen Harper and former principal secretary to Doug Ford. This piece of information might be important. She's actually a double school dropout, which I like. That appeals to me. She attended the University of Ottawa, where she organized campus clubs for the Reform Party, guys. She was from the Reform Party. I'm pretty sure Stephen Harper is also from the Reform Party. Political career, folks. Once referred to as the most powerful woman in Ottawa. She's been called Prime Minister Harper's single best organizer. Conservative Party in 2009. Guys, she's been around the block. Okay? 2009. She became the Director of Political Operations. In 2006, 11 federal elections, serving under Doug Findlay. Between elections, she was advisor to Ian Brody. She has fought for where's the gun rights part? The Hill Times called... Okay, wait a minute. Byrne's responsibilities were overseeing day-to-day operations of Findlay's campaign. What the Hill Times called one of the most efficient, richest, and iron-disciplined campaign machines in Canadian political history. Who's Michael Findlay? Oh. Who's Michael Findlay? Was he on? He ran for Ontario PC. Oh my god, man. I'm leaving this in there. That was great, man. I love it. I love it. Yeah. That's why Michael Finley is familiar to me. I like basketball, guys. That was really funny. No, I don't know Michael Finley in the political stance. I remember Michael Finley because he's a great basketball player. That was really funny, guys. Following Doug Ford's election as leader, the Ontario PC Party, in 2018, Byrne took over as Director of Field Operations for the 2018 provincial election. After the election, Byrne was selected to be Ford's first principal secretary. In 2019, she left the Premier's office to accept an appointment to the Ontario Energy Board. This is a very powerful woman. Advisor to Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre. I'm going to read this whole thing. As Pierre Poilievre took leadership in the Conservative Party of Canada in 2022 leadership election, Byrne returned to the CPC to work for Poilievre. While her specific role in the CPC is simply that of an advisor, political commentators generally describe Byrne as Poilievre's right hand and chief strategist. What's your right hand there, man? What does your right hand do, man? Byrne is not married and does not have children. She was previously involved in a romantic relationship with Conservative MP Pierre Poilievre. There's a closeness there. She's not going anywhere. What does Anna feel about that? I think once you get rich, I think marriage is second. I have my critiques of Jenny Byrne, and you've heard them. But she seems legit. She seems legit. She seems cool. I would like to meet her one day. The plebs saw her. The plebs saw her at the Carleton rally. The pleb? Dude, you should have said something then. You should have talked to her. He wants to party too much, man. He should have talked to her. Sat her down. Stayed right there with her and talked to Jenny Byrne. Because campaign managers are one of the most important parts of a campaign election. She is partly to blame for some of the decisions that she has made on this election. Should he have went and hung out with Doug Ford and Tim Houston? Of course he should have. Of course he should have. Should he have went on Joe Rogan? No. Should he have went on PBD? No. Should he go on Joe Rogan now? Absolutely he should. Absolutely he should. He should go on it now. He should have went on it December, November. But not during the campaign, guys. You got to be smart, guys. We got to win elections. So, folks, do you know what really would have helped Pierre win? And I mean capital W. I think if this guy went on Nardwuar, I think he really would have done himself a very good thing. Would he have won the election? Maybe not. He would have picked up a couple extra seats, though, because this is exactly what people wanted.
Every Canadian election, I approach all the different party leaders and see if they will do an interview and a hip flip.
Nardwuar.
We're going to find out what that is.
Nardwuar.
Okay, so let's skip ahead.
Right off the bat, Mr. Carney, I have a gift for you. A Richard Brodeur record.
King Richard?
From 1982.
See,
Oh,
so
yes. No. Hey.
do you honestly not know who Nardwuar is? He's a musical genius. He's a musical interviewer. So guys, this is what we're talking about. What if Pierre went on here and didn't talk about politics at all? This is what people wanted out of him. And he went on weird, estranged podcasts, man. Those podcasts he went on, I don't know.
Hey, goodbye. That's right.
Now, is that the Stormin' Norman era?
It was
Storm
the
and
Storm and
Norman.
Norman era. And you know what?
So he spends the
coveted
whole
that
time just
Northland
dropping
gold stick.
bombs
I could never afford it, but I
about
coveted
Mark
that
Carney's,
stick.
like,
Storm and Norman
memory
was my
and
coach
life in the
during
past.
the Broder years.
And you actually played
This
goalie.
isn't
I played
special.
goalie. He was one of my
He does this with
he was
everybody.
one of my idols. Or 1,000% save percentage at Harvard in a playoff game against Colgate. Look, it was a great team. I was the backup goalie. I opened the gate for a lot of fantastic hockey players.
So what happened afterwards? Did you go for hamburgers at Mr. Bartley's?
No, we used to go. They were good. I used to.
Dave?
Yes, I used to
You
burn
asked him about his
CDs.
time in
I'm a
England.
huge Down with Webster fan.
They're talking about Down with Webster.
Okay, there's a
He's
band
huge
called
Down
Sweet
with
Thing,
Webster fan.
and they were use them. We use them. Well, we employ them. We use them, and actually at the end of my rallies, and after I became leader.
Do you guys see that right there? That could have been Pierre. That could have been Pierre, guys.
We played.
And it should
Time
have
to
been.
Win. Yeah.
June the 29th, 1982.
1982. That would be, if it's music, it could be
Kins.
Kinsman Fieldhouse Clash. Yeah, I
Talks about the
fought the
Clash.
law, which that's fantastic.
Okay, this is
Okay.
how you win,
The
guys.
Brothers. Thank you, Canada. Love Shelley for you.
There's
Thank you,
a
Canada.
couple of
Black
things
Jumpers with the song
that
Crash
I
of
want
80.
to
He comes out of
point
adversity.
out.
That's that you. Shepherd's Bush. You mean? Yeah.
You got your citizenship.
So this,
So yeah, for
the crash of '87. Someone made a thing about the crash of '87, a record about the crash of
example,
'87. Music
obviously,
used to be
the
really
window
cool.
jumpers being Exhibit A.
Oxford, Shepherd's Bush.
Shepherd's Bush.
Do you ever see Radiohead play? In
Okay, I'd send it back to them. I have never seen Radiohead. I have been.
Sir.
What did I eat?
yeah, England. I have
About to
another
eat
gift for you,
Charlie
Mr. Carney.
XCX.
Clever. Yeah.
Find out about her
Bunch of other.
62.
But this
An
is what I want to show
election-
you.
I mean, people know that. They don't need me to.
I'm going to stop skipping through here.
Adam Smith, the 20
Painter.
And I was curious, right here we have from 1962 an election prop, the Defen dollar.
Ooh, the Defen dollar. Okay.
Do you remember about the Defen dollar at all?
Well, it was 3 years before I was born. It was probably before you were born. So no, I don't. Well, it's probably not a compliment, is it? The
It was their attempt to devalue the Canadian dollar during the election.
Okay, so that was probably in the part of the breakup of the gold standard, and we floated. Canada would have floated the currency.
And what I find really interesting, signing there is Mr. Coyne, related to Andrew Coyne from the Globe and Mail.
Father of Andrew Coyne, yes, governor of.
You
Yes,
know Andrew
governor.
Coyne?
Oh, this goes to the Coyne affair. Oh, it's all coming back to me now. Yes.
You see, and this is like what he does in his interviews. I think they're personally freaking genius. Pierre should have went on it. But he
So
says
there
one
was
more
a-
thing I want to get across
there was a
before we
crisis
finish up with
because
Nardwuar.
the Diefenbaker government effectively fired the governor of the Bank of Canada, which is not a good idea if you want independent decisions and inflation under control. It's interesting how history rhymes, because now another conservative government is threatening to do similar things.
And his signature.
This could be the result.
Pull it out right here. The CBC Northern Service. There was a record. Look at that. The CBC had a record label.
Radio Canada is talking
Okay,
about
the
how
Northern Service.
this is propaganda about how Radio Canada helps Arctic North. This guy is from the Arctic, and he used Radio Canada to become famous and become something. But we also can't forget, guys. The world was a better place back then.
And also on the CBC Northern Service, and another gift for you winding up here, some Willie Dunn. So you can find out all about him.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I could give many others, but it's
Like, don't get me wrong.
You look and you.
And I was wondering, Mr. Carney, would you do the hip flip game with me?
Oh, that looks like so much fun. Yeah, why not?
Oh, that's amazing because
Now, watch this. Because this is where conservatives go uncool.
Paul Martin did the hip flip game.
Paul Martin did the hip flip game. Okay.
John Kretschan did the hip flip game.
Really?
Come on,
Okay,
guys.
good.
John Kretschan did the hip flip.
Justin Trudeau did the hip flip game.
That doesn't
That doesn't
surprise
surprise me.
Stephen Harper did not do the hip flip game. His security carried me away.
me. That doesn't surprise me either. That doesn't surprise me. I'm sorry that you were carried away. Hopefully, we're much more under control here.
We do. This is kind of fun. This is whoa. Stephen Harper, please, will you do the hip flip? You guys don't have to carry me. Will you do the?
What do you guys think? Should Pierre have gone on that? I don't think anything would have lightened him up more. Jordan Peterson tried to lighten him up. Brian Lilly tried to lighten him up. 2 random podcasts tried to open him up. But I think Nardwuar is the kind of person that forces you to open up. All of these other people are respectable and they don't want to pop your bubble. But you see, Nardwuar kind of forces that. You see the hip flip game? Getting politicians out of their comfort zone to do something really weird looking. Genius. And Pierre should have went on there. That would have helped Pierre. Drop your comment down below, guys. And if you like today's show, if you agree with me in any way, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I come at you every single weekday, kind of, sometimes. And that's all I have for you today, guys. I'm your host, Parmesan, and this is Niagara Due North. Please.